Hey, welcome to a new video. A while ago, this video footage of a monster goat named Damascus went extremely viral, and it probably won't surprise you why. The goat was supposedly bred somewhere in Egypt, and locals couldn't believe it when they first saw the animal. Damascus goats are already normally pets with an unusual appearance, and they are usually bred in Middle Eastern countries. But as we can see, this goat is a lot more terrifying to watch. Its head looks gigantic, while its neck looks quite short. This is also why they called him the Damascus Monster. Many assume that he's the result of the mating of several individuals. Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, also like the video. Matilda the cat has alien eyes and looks like she's not from this planet. But this is true, as Matilda has a genetic eye defect, which causes her eyes to be extra enlarged. However, she was not born with gigantic eyes. When her owner picked her up from the shelter, she had normal-sized eyes. Over time, she began to get larger and larger eyes, and after many years, she lost her sight completely. It was decided that an operation was necessary, and finally, it was successful, because today the cat still lives happily together with her owners. The dwarf lantern shark is the smallest species in the world, growing no larger than 8 inches or 20 centimeters. Its sightings are rare, and knowledge about it's even rarer. Dwarf lantern sharks have been seen a few times near the northern tip of South America, at depths of 928 to 1,440 feet, or 283 to 439 meters. You may be wondering why they're called dwarf lantern sharks. The lantern part of its name comes from the photophores, these luminous organs, on its belly and fins. When it comes to camouflage, dwarf lantern sharks can sometimes be limited by sunlight shining through the shallow water. But when their bellies also light up, it helps them blend seamlessly into their surroundings. This is especially useful in deeper areas when it's dark. When you think of elephants, you probably think of their colossal size. But what if we told you that there was once an elephant the size of a puppy wandering around? Meet the Paleoxodon falconeri, better known as the Sicilian dwarf elephant. The chances of coming across one today are slim, as scientists believe they are extinct. The Sicilian dwarf elephant roamed the earth about 500,000 years ago. It used to be believed that these mini elephants only lived for 26 years due to their size. Later, however, it was discovered that their lifespan was more than 68 years. It turns out that they just grew much more slowly than, say, the African forest elephant. How they could survive for so long and with their size, however, remains a mystery. But you may wonder, are there any small elephants today? Well, there are photos circulating on the internet of an elephant that is claimed to be the smallest in the world. Unfortunately, we could not confirm this information. We've already talked about Rainy and Lil Bill, the smallest cow in the world. But now it's time to meet Knickers, the biggest cow born in Western Australia. This bull is truly gigantic, as he stands a whopping 6 foot 4 inches, or 1.94 meters tall. Imagine when you see this beast in real life, and how powerful he must be. But there's another bull named Bellino, who is said to be bigger than Knickers. In fact, this bull holds the world record at 6 foot 6 inches or 2.02 meters tall, and his weight is an incredible 3,086 pounds, or 1,400 kilograms. You don't want him to fall on top of you. Bellino is an Italian beast, and it would be very interesting if the two giant bulls ever met. These are Frank and Louie, the world's longest-lived Janus cats. Janus cats are named after the Roman god Janus, who usually has 2 faces. They are incredibly rare and usually live no longer than a day after birth. However, this was different with Frank and Louie. They shared one brain with each other, but they had 2 noses, 2 mouths, and a blind middle eye. The incredible thing is, the cat ended up living to be 15 years old. Sharks live on average between 15 and 30 years, but there's a species of shark that can live many times its age. This is the Greenland shark, and it inhabits the deep waters. And no, it's not immortal, but Greenland sharks remain a great mystery to scientists to this day. What we know is that their diet consists of seals and polar bears. Their age was discovered when scientists studied a group of 28 captured sharks. When they used radiocarbon to determine their age, they discovered that most predate the atomic bomb tests in the 1950s. However, the oldest group is centuries older than that, and it's estimated that they could be as much as 512 years old. That means he's lived through all the historical moments in our history. This next video footage of a cow walking on its two hind legs went viral around the world. The incredible thing is that when the cow was born, people thought it wouldn't survive because of the condition. But the animal not only made it, but it managed to learn to walk upright like humans do. The entire internet was shocked upon seeing this video, and many people could not believe their eyes. So the video footage was not edited, and the animal was more than real. Should you want to see the cow, you must travel to India, because that's where the cow was born. It's beautiful to see how the cow managed to adapt and not give up to stay alive in these difficult conditions. Did you know that there are 310 species of turtles in the world? The rarest among them, in fact, is so rare that for a while it was thought to be extinct. The Yangtze giant tortoise, as it's called, was so unique that at one point there were only 3 left in the world. Every attempt to revive the population failed. Finally, the last of its kind, living in the Suzhou Zoo in China, breathed its last. All hope was lost until 2021. The impossible happened. Traces of another individual, a female, were found in a lake in China. It would be a great tragedy if the giant tortoises would go completely extinct. So you're looking at a very old species here, and its history goes back about 40 million years ago. It's believed that around this period, humans and baboons last shared a common ancestor. Goats are funny and stubborn animals, and sometimes it's better to stay away from them, but it seems that this next goat is harmless. Ivy is known as the smallest goat in the world, and when you see him, it will melt your heart. She's only 14.5 inches, or 36.8 centimeters in length, and normally goats grow to be twice her size. Interestingly enough, she is not in the Guinness World Records, even though she meets the standard. It is unclear why she has not yet been listed as the world's smallest goat, but Ivy's owner is eager to send the official documents to Guinness to confirm her world record application. Let's hope Ivy officially gets down in history as the smallest goat in the world, because she deserves it. Now we are going to tell you how much money the most expensive horse in the world is worth. We all know that some people are willing to pay huge sums of money for champion horses. Fusaichi Pegasus is a Kentucky Derby winner. He was sold for a whopping $70 million to Coolmore Stud, a global stallion farm. This amount surpassed the previous record of $40 million paid for another horse, Sharif Dancer. $70 million was thought to be a fair price for Fusaichi Pegasus, as he is a famous American champion. He's certainly a beautiful stallion. But would you ever pay that much money for a horse if you had it? We've already shown you turtles with extra limbs, but this next turtle is the opposite, as it's missing something. The chances of a turtle like this being born is literally 1 in 1,000 years. It's incredible how this turtle survived, because it only has one eye. The turtle is called a cyclops. A cyclops is a one-eyed giant from Greek mythology, but that's not all. The turtle is even more rare than you think, because it also has another unique condition called albinism, in which the color pigments change through its body to look white. If you think about it, the tortoise has been extremely unlucky, and in the wild he could easily be noticed by predators. And then he also has limited vision, making it more likely that he would be attacked. We've already talked about the smallest goat in the world, but now it's time to show you the biggest goat on Earth. This goat, whose name is unknown, has a weight of a whopping 720 pounds, or 327 kilograms. This is really incredible because the normal weight of a goat is between 120 and 155 pounds, or 55 and 70 kilograms. Of course, it depends on the breed because some goat species can weigh over 220 pounds, or 100 kilograms, but this goat weighed 3 times as much. As you can see in the video, the animal is huge and even bigger than the man standing near it. The owners of the goat also look very happy and proud because with this goat, they won the competition of the biggest goat in the world, and probably made some money too. This two-legged cat is named Duck, and according to his owner, it's said to be incredibly cute. When they decided to adopt the cat, they felt sorry for the fact that she had lost her front legs. As a result, over the course of her life, not only did she have to learn how to walk, but she also had to walk on two hind legs, which means she more or less walks like a dinosaur. Duck is described as the happiest cat in the world. It's even said that she's as fast and playful as any other cat. Longhorns are mainly from the southwest of America and northern Mexico, and they are so named because they have enormously large horns. However, Poncho is the one who set the Guinness World Record for the longest horns. Nearly 7 inches or 17 centimeters, that is the length of its horns. Can you imagine that the animal was born that way? To understand how big he really is, Poncho's horns are twice as long as the width of a concert grand piano. The animal's owner did not even know that Poncho would become special and popular, because when he bought him, he was just a little bigger than other animals. Over time, the man realized his horns were beyond normal, and when he measured him, he was shocked. The horns didn't stop growing, and after the animal became famous, the public expressed concern about its condition. Fortunately, everything is fine with Poncho, and he is a superstar. When marine biologist and photographer Jake Davies began filming underwater in the United Kingdom, he didn't expect to see an actual angel. Or, well, it wasn't a real angel, but an angel shark. In fact, it's not often that these sharks show themselves. They're so rare that almost all of their behavior and nature is a complete mystery to scientists. The angel shark we see here is only a juvenile, so we don't know what a full-size specimen would look like. Juveniles are known to occur in both sand and mixed habitats. They usually feed on bass-like fish called gobies. Angel sharks also have a specific way of hunting. As ambush predators, they wait for their prey. Aided by their ray-like flat bodies, including wing-like fins, they lie on the ocean floor. Fully camouflaged, they wait for their next passerby, and then BAM! Unfortunately, this species of shark is critically endangered. Albinism is the congenital or absence of the pigment melanin in the skin. This is rare in humans, but can also happen in animals. But to see it happen in a cow is even rarer. The cow named Al won the hearts of thousands of people. When he was born, her owners noticed that she was different from the other cows. She looked like a little snowball, and her owners immediately fell in love with her. The cow had no pigment in her eyes. She had pink eyelids and a pink nose. The woman who owned the cow began scouring the internet to find out how albinism can occur in cows. She even called a professor at the University of Minnesota, who explained that albinism can occur in rare cases in animals, but he admitted that it's very rare to come across a cow as Al. The nurse shark is a species of shark that grows about 3 meters long on average and can weigh more than 330 pounds or 150 kilograms. But in 2022, in Utila, Honduras, a nurse shark was found with a unique appearance. The shark has an extremely rare condition that has more or less completely changed the pigmentation pattern of its skin. This shark is so unique that it's been studied by experts, and it's thought to be the first of its kind in history. The rare skin condition is called piebaldism and falls under albinism. Unlike albinism, however, eye color is not affected. Clayed is a cyclops cat with only one eye who was born in 2012. If you don't know what a cyclops is a mythical creature in Greek mythology that has only one eye. When the kitten was born, both of his owners and the doctor were very shocked. The reason they were at the vet in the first place was because his mother had problems giving birth. Clayed came second out of the litter and surprised everyone in the operating room. Not only was he born with only one eye, but he also had no nose. Unfortunately, he did not survive long. Little Barbara is a horse that was born with a deformed snout. Further investigation revealed that it was the rare wry nose syndrome. Her jaws were twisted, and one nostril could not function normally. Barbara's owner realized that she had to do something to save her life when she was little. The only way to do that was major surgery. In order to have the surgery, Barbara's owner needed help to raise the necessary money. People on the internet raised enough money for the surgery, which cost over $30,000. Fortunately, Barbara withstood the very difficult operation and now breathes through a special tube, but she can now eat normally. Her snout now looks normal again, and the nostril she had problems with is now open. The unlikely appearance of a small pink elephant in Kruger National Park raised many eyebrows. In the wild, it's often the case that the strongest elephants survive, and an elephant's skin helps it blend into nature. So when a pink elephant was discovered, many people were surprised it could still be alive. The elephant had albinism, which is incredibly rare in African elephants. This often comes with weak eyesight that can endanger their abilities. The elephant had light-sensitive pink eyes, making the chance of growing up small. The strange thing was that this elephant led a natural life, peacefully drinking at the Shingwenzi River in Limpopo, South Africa. More than that, it was accompanied by its family. How cute is that? Wendy the Whippet is a world-famous dog who became known as the strongest dog in the world. She was widely published in the media, including the New York Times, Today Show, and Inside Edition. Wendy has also been called the Arnold Schwarzenegger of dogs. She weighed 60 pounds or 27 kilograms and has thick muscles even around her neck. In fact, Wendy has a super rare genetic mutation which made her twice as heavy as an average Whippet dog. But in addition, she had average height and the characteristic narrow head. Her muscles, although, made her strong and famous, but kept her from running as fast as other dogs. She also could not turn easily. Sadly, today, Wendy is no longer among us. We've shown you the goat with the largest horns in the world, but now we're going to show you goats that have multiple horns. This next picture was taken in 2007, and we see a goat that has no less than 6 horns. Animals that have multiple horns are called pulsarates, and it's a genetic rarity. This goat is said to live somewhere on a farm in the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region. According to the owner, the 6 horns started growing very quickly shortly after the goat was born. Veterinarians and other experts claim that this is very unusual for a goat to have 6 horns, but that it can happen sometimes. Wikipedia even mentions that there have been cases where a goat has had as many as 8 horns. Yoda is not only an iconic Star Wars character, it's also a cat with 4 ears. A couple named Valerie and Ted Rock found the cat in a cage somewhere in Chicago in 2006, and they decided to adopt him. They soon realized that he had a unique feature, which was 2 extra ears. The strange thing is that the 2 extra ears are not attached to his skull. Despite this, Yoda is a normal cat. It's even said that he has an intense obsession for bread. Normally, cows don't live more than 20 years, but this cow named Big Bertha lived almost 49 years. She's a true legend because not only did she hold a Guinness World Record for the oldest cow in the world, but she also held a second Guinness World Record for producing 39 calves. The cow had become a local celebrity in Ireland, appearing at every St. Patrick's Day parade in the Irish town of Sneem. People love her dearly, and she certainly enjoyed her life because she was treated like a star. No wonder she lived for 48 years. But unfortunately, she just didn't make it to her 49th birthday, and passed away 3 months before a special day. Elephants are known for their incredible intelligence, which has been observed and studied for many years. They are considered one of the smartest animals on Earth, but did you know they're also masterful painters? Meet Suda, who is described as the Leonardo da Vinci of elephants. Her caretakers discovered her passion for colors and shapes when she was only 4 years old. She can not only paint, but also make self-portraits. Videos show her staring with a blank page, drawing lines parallel to her feet, and then signing the completed painting that she made. Believe it or not, Suda's art, which is top quality, is sold for enormous amounts of money. Monty is probably the only cat of his kind. He suffers from a super rare chromosomal disorder that caused him to be born without a bone in his nose. Believe it or not, this condition does not affect his quality of life at all. He's an adorable and affectionate cat who loves to be carried around and sleep on people's laps. His chromosomal abnormality only causes him to sneeze more often than a normal cat, but he can still breathe normally. His owners hope that Monty will one day act as a global ambassador for other cats who don't look perfect. This little horse was born with 1 eye. It was a fusion of 2 eyes, and unfortunately, the foal did not make it, as it died shortly after his birth. The owner donated him to the University of Copenhagen so that scientists could study him. To this day, the researchers cannot say for sure what exactly caused it, but they assume that it was something with the horse's nervous system. They say that an encounter with a Cyclops horse is a 1 in a million chance, and that this little foal was absolutely unique. In fact, this was the first time they had seen a Cyclops horse. The little horse's body also received tremendous attention from researchers. One of the professors from the University of Copenhagen said that scientists are interested in some defects because it represents the diversity of biology. It also helps them find causes and cures for all kinds of diseases. Meet the oldest cat that ever walked the earth, Cream Puff. Cream Puff was born on August 3, 1967, in Austin, Texas, USA. She lived to be a whopping 38 years and 3 days old. By comparison, the average cat lives only 12 to 14 years. Believe it or not, but it just so happens that her owner, Jake Perry, was also the owner of the previous holder of the record, oldest cat in the world. This cat was named Rex Allen and had lived to be 34 years and 2 months old. Atlas is not only the world's largest living dog, he's also the world's gentlest giant. He was once acquired from a breeder in Missouri, USA, and Atlas was the only dog in his litter that had feet too big to walk on. In the first part of his life, the Great Dane could barely take a few steps without falling. The situation worsened when he got older and bigger. When he was 6 years old, he weighed a whopping 225 pounds, or 102 kilograms. In addition, he was also intimidating at 40 inches, or 104 centimeters tall. The Sy family, Atlas's owners, often struggled to accommodate the giant dog. When they moved, they couldn't find a house with a hallway that Atlas could pass through. His collars also had to be custom-made. The vet usually has to come to him because it's too difficult to get him into the car. But the dog seems to be happy because he spends most of his time lazing around the house. Normally, goats live about 13 to 18 years, but a goat named McGinty lived to the incredible age of 22 years and 5 months. The goat was born in England, and of course, she also made the record in the Guinness World Records. It's hard to say if any other goats have lived even longer, but McGinty's owners were smart enough to apply for the world record. It's always interesting to analyze exactly what makes animals live longer, but in this case, it's hard to explain. Perhaps McGinty was treated like a queen, and her owners protected her from stress and gave her only the best quality food. We don't know. But if you have any ideas on how she was able to live to such an old age, please let us know in the comments. What you see here is possibly the world's first biofluorescent sea turtle. When observed by scientists, this seemingly ordinary turtle appeared on a computer screen in neon green and red colors. To make its nature even more mysterious, this is not just any turtle, but the critically endangered hawksbill turtle. It has the ability to reflect blue light into a surface and bounce it back as another color. This ability has reportedly been found before in small sharks and coral reefs, but this was the first time it was discovered in a turtle. The bioluminescent turtle was found by chance by marine biologist David Gruber and his team. They were on a late-night dive looking for crocodiles, but instead, this turtle showed up. Every normal-born goat has 4 legs, but what happened to this next goat shocked everyone, and most people could not even believe it. In fact, this goat was born with 8 legs and 2 hips in Bangan, Parganas, India. To the locals, it seemed like magic, as the mother goat gave birth to 2 kids, and one of them was perfectly normal. When news of the 8-legged goat got out, people came from all over the village to see the unusual animal. Unfortunately, the animal did not live long, but it surprised so many people that the animal was published all over the news. Locals stated that they had never seen anything like it before, while goats are typical animals in their household. By the way, this was also the first time a goat was born with 8 legs. How bizarre, isn't it? A German shepherd named Sandy was born in Greece with an unusual deformity that no one had ever seen before. This is because Sandy's front legs are unusually bent, so much so that he had to walk on his chest at the beginning. In addition, he's also very visually impaired. It seemed that there was not much hope for the poor dog, until the story about the dog went viral. He was sent to the English city of Cambridge after money was raised for him and was taken into an animal shelter. A local pet store even donated him a new bed and toys. Sandy received all the love, attention, and medical care he needed and deserved. After 2 surgeries and various forms of physical therapy, he was able to live a normal life. You've now seen the world's longest-lived cat and the world's smallest cat. But what about the world's longest cat? This is a Maine Coon named Stewie, and the cat is the holder of the Guinness Book of World Records for his length. In 2010, he was measured at 123 centimeters from the tip of his nose to the end of his tail. Stewie eventually became a certified therapy animal that helped transport elderly in a senior center near its home. Life is tough for elephants when they're alone, but in groups they are almost unbeatable. Elephants are social animals, and being part of a herd gives them a sense of safety and protection. However, life becomes alarmingly difficult for an elephant, especially when it's not in top shape. A video of a baby elephant having problems with its legs was filmed in Sri Lanka. Experts determined that the elephant was born with a deformity that is impossible to cure. It is, however, a wonder how the elephant managed to survive in the wild all the time without encountering predators. Fortunately, it was found by some people and treated at a wildlife sanctuary. It's unknown what happened to the elephant afterwards, but let us hope that they were able to help the elephant. Unicorns are usually considered a myth, but did you know that in real life, there are also animals with only one horn? Meet Diamond, a cow with only one single horn growing in the middle of its head. If you didn't believe in unicorns, it's time to do so because Diamond looks mythical, and no, it's not photoshopped. The bull was really born that way, which is why Diamond became super popular on the internet. He quickly became the darling of the village, and many people were even willing to travel to Brazil just to meet this cow with one horn in real life. It's common knowledge that turtles are one of the longest living animals on Earth, but have you ever wondered what the record is for the longest living turtle? Meet Jonathan. He's 190 years old and still alive today. He's a giant tortoise from Seychelles who spends his day with 3 other giant tortoises, David, Emma, and Fred. They all live in the home of the island's governor. Jonathan was brought to St. Helena from Seychelles in 1882, but there are doubts about his age, as some believe he may be as old as 200 years old. This is why turtles like Jonathan are born once every 1,000 years. Unfortunately, his extremely advanced age has deprived him of sight and sense of smell, but his hearing is still unaffected. It's often said that nature is the best artist and produces the most beautiful things. But with that, nature could also draw Wendy Bulmer, a horse riding teacher. When she bought a new horse, little did she know that a surprise was waiting for her. In fact, the horse she bought gave birth to a very unique foal. Wendy decided to name this little tri-colored foal Da Vinci, or Vinny, because he was far from ordinary. The horse had a small horse-shaped spot on his shoulder and neck. A horse on a horse! How special is that? The unique drawing made Vinny something of a star in Wendy's riding school. Children also love the horse because he's so friendly and social. Twins are a fascinating phenomenon in the human world. Only 3% of pregnancies result in twins. In the animal kingdom, however, twins are even rarer, especially in elephants. The chance of them being born is only 1%, and their chances of surviving in the wild for a few months are even smaller. So when this happens, it naturally makes headlines. On October 24, 2022, an elephant twin was born at the Rosamond Gifford Zoo in Syracuse, New York. The birth itself was also a shock to the zoo staff, who say they didn't know there were 2 babies. It's difficult to make ultrasounds of an elephant, as they have to be made internally and don't show much. The first baby, a female, was born at 2 a.m., and the second, a considerably smaller male, 10 hours later. They feared that the mother elephant would reject the second baby and not have enough milk for them. But she adapted well, and the elephants were born healthy. The following story is also incredible. A 40-year-old farmer named Ahmet Kartel from the village of Gokmisa in Turkey has been keeping animals for more than 25 years. But when this goat was born, the man was completely shocked. One of his goats had given birth, and the man noticed that the lamb looked strange. Namely, it had its eyes in the middle of its forehead, just like a cyclops. However, the animal has 2 eyes, but it looks like it only has 1 eye, which makes the goat look a little strange. The man said that when he first saw the goat, he even got a little scared. He said nothing and took a picture of the goat, but told the news outlets that he felt like the animal was looking through his soul. However, there is also another photo going around the internet in which we see a goat that also has 2 eyes. Some people in the comments say this photo may have been photoshopped, but what do you think? Could this goat really exist? Let me know in the comments. Endo is a horse that was born blind, and together with his owner, they have been through a lot. They are the true example of a strong bond between a horse and a human. Endo may be blind, but that doesn't stop him from doing things the other horses do. He even participates in competitions. Endo is the first horse of Morgan, and she says that when she met him, she immediately saw the beauty in the foal. The accomplishments of the two is truly incredible when you realize how much the two trust each other. Over the years, Morgan has taught Endo as many as over 40 voice commands. Endo executes all commands perfectly. He is becoming a huge phenomenon and amazes her every time they have a training session. Unbelievable, isn't it? What we're about to show you are the two smallest cats ever born in history. The average domestic cat is about 24 to 25 centimeters tall, but Pixel Munchkin never grew more than 13 centimeters. That means Pixel is smaller than a liter milk bottle. This also means that the cat owner must always be careful of stepping on the small cat. But there's a cat that was even smaller. This Himalayan Persian cat named Tinkertoy was only 7 centimeters tall. The owners, Katrin and Scott, couldn't believe it when they realized their kitty wasn't growing any further. This cow was born with 2 heads in India, and when you see this for the first time, it's hard to believe. The farm family was also extremely surprised to see a newborn cow with 2 heads, and they shared the news with people online. Some people assumed that the cow was specially bred in a laboratory as an experiment, but the farmer who owns this little cow with 2 heads reassured everyone that the animal was just born that way. This is another phenomenon that is rare even in humans. You probably heard of people being born with 2 heads. So now it can happen to cows too. Randy Betts is a man from Wilmington, Delaware, who one day found his poor turtle with no backbone. This meant that the turtle could not use its hind legs because of this deformity. But the turtle, incidentally named Helix, did not give up, and the man came up with a brilliant idea. He took recourse to gadgets and technology to solve the problem. After all, Randy did not want Helix to suffer the fate of never being able to move again. He got the idea to equip the turtle with mini skateboarding wheels glued to its rear end. Helix accepted the wheels with enthusiasm and swayed happily around. He's also said to have inspired many people, including an author who had published a series of children's books about the turtle. When David bought a black kitten in 1997, he never imagined that they would both become internet sensations 7 years later. The cat's name was Morley. He was 7 years old, and suddenly the color of his fur began to change. Over time, his fur began to turn white, and at first they thought the cat had had a stroke. But eventually, it turned out that he was suffering from vitiligo. This is already tremendously rare among humans, but even more rare among cats. The lack of melanin causes the white patches on the skin. In Morley's case, it gave him the nickname Scrappy the Cat. How long do you think horses live on average? Normally it's about 25 to 30 years, but old Billy broke all records and lived as long as 62 years. He is the oldest horse to ever live. But what is even more incredible is that old Billy continued to work as a workhorse his entire life. He was born in England 1760 and became a celebrity because of his old age. You can also find this horse in the Guinness Book of Records, but oddly enough, his breed is still unknown. Another horse that also had a long life was Sugarpuff. It was actually a pony from West Sussex in England and lived to 56 years. Not as many years as old Billy, but sure enough, Sugarpuff also impressed everyone very much by living such a long life. The people with whom Sugarpuff lived loved him immensely, and they even revealed that for them, he was the most favorite member of their family. Is your pet also the family's favorite? Let me know in the comments. Who doesn't love little puppies? But when you see the following puppy, you will be completely amazed. Meet Miracle Millie, a female Chihuahua who has broken all kinds of records. This dog is so small, it can fit in a coffee cup. She was born in December of 2011, and she weighed less than 1 pound, or half a kilogram at birth. Her incredibly unique and small size made life a challenge. Her mouth was actually too small to be fed by her mother, so her owner, Vanessa Semler, had to drip milk into her mouth every 2 hours. The little dog eventually transitioned from sleeping in a doll bed to sleeping in a baby's crib. Today, she's only 3.8 inches, or 9.65 centimeters tall. Venus the cat is half orange and half black in color, and with 1 yellow eye and 1 blue eye. This makes her very unique and fits no description of any other living cat. Scientists think that the black color was randomly activated in all of her cells on one side of her face. When she developed in the womb, the orange color met the other in the middle. Even her single blue eye is a mystery. Cats with blue eyes are usually of Siamese descent, and in fact, the majority have white fur. But this is not the case with Venus the cat.
What if we told you that the world's smallest horse sleeps in a doghouse and uses the doggy door when it wants to go in or out? Thumbelina is only 45 centimeters tall. This is partly why she was named after a little girl from Andersen's fairy tales. She is so beautiful, and her eyes are very big compared to her small body, which makes her even cuter. Because of her small legs, she needed special help to learn to walk properly. She is even listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's smallest horse. Thumbelina is not just any horse though. Her owner decided to make her a therapy horse for children. As you can understand, they all love her.
When cats are really relaxed or in a playful, crazy mood, some like to stick out their tongue. Normally, that's already a reason for a cute photo. But imagine a cat with a permanently protruding tongue. Lil Bub, as the cat is called, fits that description exactly. Owned by film producer Mike Brodavsky, she was born with dwarfism and a shortened jaw. Both have given her that iconic look, making her very popular on social media.
We've talked about the smallest horse in the world before, but now it's time to talk about the tallest and heaviest horse. This so-called Shire horse was born in 1846 in England and is even in the Guinness Book of Records. His real name is Samson, but he is more commonly known as Mammoth. He was 7 foot 2 inches, 2.2 meters tall, and weighed 1,524 kilograms. The tallest and heaviest horse alive in our time is Big Jake. This is a Belgian horse weighing 3,660 pounds, or 1,025 kilograms. His owners even had to put him on a diet because he kept gaining weight. If he became even more fat and heavy, it would become a big problem for his health, especially for his legs. As for his height, he's about 6 foot 6 inches, 2 meters tall, so he is a little bit smaller than Samson.
The next dog, named Duncan Lou, was named after Cindy Lou, a Christmas character from the movie How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The dog captured millions of hearts with his determination, sweet smile, and unique appearance. He's a boxer dog breed and was born with his hind legs attached to each other. When he was adopted, he was 3 months old, and the family has taken good care of him ever since. Fortunately, he did survive at birth because he also had autoimmune problems. The dog was even thrown out of the car once. But this story serves as an inspiration. The dog did not give up and learned to walk and could even run fast with only 2 legs. How clever is that?
Scientists were shocked to find a rare ghost shark near New Zealand's South Island. As we can see, its appearance looks almost transparent. In addition, it has a pointed head topped with a pair of eerily large black eyes. No wonder it was called an alien shark. Believe it or not, this shark is one of about 50 species of ghost sharks. They're also called chimeras. They live in deep waters around the world. The name chimera means it's a mixed breed, meaning a ghost shark related to sharks and rays. This rare ghost shark was found in a net during a trawl survey at a depth of 39 feet, or 12 meters. When you hear about an elephant without a trunk, you usually think its days are numbered. So when photos of such an elephant roaming with its family in Kruger National Park circulated on the internet, public concern arose. Those characteristic trunks are not just for appearance. An elephant's trunk is used for eating, drinking, and even socializing. Not only would the quality of life of an elephant without a trunk be dramatically reduced, but predators could also more easily threaten it. An adult elephant's trunk can move, lift, and carry more than 317 kilograms, requiring more than 40,000 muscles. When experts first saw the elephant without a trunk, they thought it was unlikely to reach adulthood. It's unclear what happened to the elephant afterward, but hopefully it can find another way to get its food.
This video footage is even more bizarre. Meet this small but incredibly unusual 6-legged cow from China. The cow's owner said he couldn't believe his eyes when he first saw the animal. Scientists say this is a rare abnormality that occurs when the twins are in the womb and one of them stops developing.
So the twins were not completely separated, which is why this little cow was born with 2 extra legs. The farmer said he had been caring for the mother of this unusual cow for 5 years, but had never seen anything like this in real life. Rasputin is the name of the goat known as the largest horned goat in the world. In 2017, he was included in the Guinness World Records because he actually has the biggest horns. When Rasputin's owners first bought him, his horns were small and seemed normal. After 5 years, however, the man only noticed that his goat looked different from the others. His horns became extremely large, and today they measure an incredible 53 inches, or 135.2 centimeters in length. And the distance between the tips of his horns is 53 inches, or 1.35 meters as well. That is why Rasputin's owners decided to apply for the world record. He was soon accepted, and the goat has now become a celebrity. However, the goat does not like it when you touch his big horns, so if you should ever meet him, try not to tease him.
Fossils show that 11,700 years ago, an elephant existed that had not 2, but 4 tusks. Gomphotheres, as they are called, were an elephant-like animal that grazed the grasslands and forests of Africa, Eurasia, and North America. They first appeared during the Eocene epoch 56 million years ago. Apart from the modern African elephant, Gomphotheres were not that different. They had the same 2 upper tusks, but beneath them were 2 extra tusks. They were social animals that lived in herds and fed on leaves, fruits, and bark. Their tusks were not as long as those of modern elephants, but they were mainly used for digging and as a defense mechanism.
Meet Quasimodo, a purebred German Shepherd. The dog was named after the character of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and he suffers from an extremely rare condition called short spinal syndrome. This is a genetic disorder which is extremely rare. When a dog has this, it means that it has a short torso and curved back, hence the comparison to the character Quasimodo. This condition is said to affect the ribcage, making it look like the dog has no neck. He also cannot turn his head, but other than that, he just goes about his daily business like a normal, happy dog. He loves to be petted and cuddled, and he would also know exactly how to fit into someone's lap. Maybe cats have 9 lives, but not all cats have more than 4 legs. One cat in particular, named Polly, has no less than 6 legs. A veterinary clinic was called in to care for him when he started having trouble walking. Doctors think Polly's extra leg came from a kitten that didn't make it in the mother cat's womb. But Polly's not the only multi-legged cat in the world. In 2001, a cat was born that had 8 legs. Unfortunately, the kitten did not survive long. But besides having 8 legs, this octopussy also had 4 ears and 2 tails.
When this shark comes out of the water, it makes a cheeky grunting sound that clearly resembles a pig. But that's only one of the 2 factors that's earned its place among the pigfish. The pig-nosed shark also has a distinctly pig-like face in general. It was first spotted by naval officers at the Darsena Medicea Marina near Elba in Italy. The pig-nosed shark is not a mutant or an anomaly of nature. It's simply a unique rare shark. The official name of the shark is the angular rough shark, and it's from the rough shark family. They usually stay at a depth of about 2,300 feet, or 700 meters below the surface of the water.
Meet the Archelon turtle, an extinct species of turtle that lived on Earth millions of years ago. It was the largest turtle that ever existed, and its fossils show that it was about 12 feet, or 3.6 meters in length, and 15 feet, or 4.5 meters in width. As for its weight, researchers believe that it was well into the tons. The Archelon roamed the Earth during the late Cretaceous period. Chances are he did not differ much from the behavior or appearance of modern turtles, except for his size. He would probably resemble the leatherback turtle, and he probably would have spent most of his life in the water, only returning to land to lay eggs. This poor thing looks extremely bizarre, as the calf has a deformed head and was born with only 1 eye. People from Bardhaman district in West Bengal, India revealed that the animal had been disowned by its mother. However, some good people decided to adopt him. They cared for the calf not only because they felt sorry for him, but also because many believe he's a miracle from God. So the animal is worshipped by many people, and that is not a bad thing. Of course, for some people, the way the cow looks is a little scary, but at least the cow is well cared for. It's also loved by many people in the district, and the cow even gets some extra attention because of its unique appearance.
Speaking of elephant ages, did you know that the average lifespan of, for example, the Asian elephant is 48 years? The lifespan of the African elephant that lives south of the Sahara is about 60 to 70 years. But here is the Dakshayani, one of the oldest elephants in history. Dakshayani died at the astounding age of 88 years. She spent her entire life in captivity and participated in temple rituals at the Changalore Mahadeva Temple in the southern state of Kerala, India. It's not every day that an elephant of such colossal size lives almost twice its expected lifespan. At her old age, Dakshayani only ate pineapples and carrots. Her caretakers explained that she couldn't be released into the wild due to practical limitations and other weaknesses. Let's hope she at least had a good life.
You've probably seen the movie where a rabbit raced against the turtle, but did you know that there's a turtle in real life that's pretty fast? Meet Birdie, the world's fastest turtle. This title is not easy to earn, as turtles are not known for their speed. The last record was set in 1977. But how did they manage to measure this turtle's speed? Well, they did this with the help of strawberries. They placed Birdie on a course of 18 feet, or 5.48 meters, with a slope, and the prize at the end was his favorite food. Can you believe he completed the entire course in a whopping 19.58 seconds? Should you ever be near the Adventure Valley theme park in Durham, England, you can now visit Birdie there. Toby, the Australian Shepherd dog, is also a very special dog because he has not one, but two noses. He was found by an animal rescue group wandering the streets of Fresno, California. His story was published, and just before the group was about to put him to sleep, thinking he wouldn't survive, animal friend Todd Ray took him in. Todd Ray is not just any dog owner. He holds the Guinness World Record for having the largest collection of two-headed animals that he's adopted. When he saw that Toby had two noses, he decided to adopt him immediately. Veterinarians thought Toby would have problems, but it was eventually confirmed that he was in perfect health. The dog was even said to possess an unusual powerful sense of smell, even more than the average dog. It is thought that he can smell 10,000 to 100,000 times better than any human. One of his skills is retrieving a ball where no one else can see it.
Mythology is full of stories about Hydra-like creatures with multiple heads, but a shark with two heads? That must be a very rare find. Here we see a two-headed bull shark, and it was first thought to be a Siamese twin. However, research from Michigan State University revealed that it was simply one shark with separate heads. It had two hearts, two stomachs, and the rest had merged into one tail. This unique specimen was found in the Gulf of Mexico on April 7, 2011. Believe it or not, two-headed animals are not as impossible as you think. Today, there are several animals that have two or more heads. For example, it's common in cold-blooded animals such as lizards, snakes, and turtles. This two-headed bull shark was probably the only one of its kind and was found by a fisherman and another shark. By the way, do you think there are sharks living in the ocean that have 3 or 4 heads? Let me know in the comments.
This is a story about little pony Angel Marie, who lost her leg after her mother accidentally stepped on her when she was a baby. This happened almost immediately after birth, so the little horse had to learn to live with only 3 legs. However, a miracle happened when the little horse met Derek Campana. Derek was a veterinarian who decided to help Angel Marie by placing a plastic prosthetic. Derek was a doctor who normally worked with people and made prosthetics for them, but he soon realized that helping animals was actually his true calling. This doctor has saved and helped many animals, but to see Angel Marie on all fours was something very special to him. The owner of the horse was of course extremely grateful to Derek, and overjoyed to see that the horse can now have fun with all kinds of children. Did you ever dissect a frog in school to look at their beating heart? This was not necessary in the case of this turtle because it was born with an open heart. Hope, as the turtle is called, is very unique as you can see. She's an albino turtle with a pink belly, and you could just see her little beating heart. You would think this would affect her health because her heart's unprotected, but thankfully it did not. The turtle could just go on with her normal life. She could swim, eat, and be lazy. Her owner, Michael Aquilina, named her Hope, hoping she would inspire others never to give up.
After all, when Hope was born, doctors were so baffled by her that they had no name for her condition. In mythology, there's a creature called Pantherin, who is usually a winged lion. Apparently, this also exists in real life. It's just not a lion, but a cat. This cat was born in the southwestern Chinese city of Chongqing, and has the same unique characteristics as the mythical lion. When the cat was about a year old, its owner was shocked to see wings growing out of its back. However, the cat cannot fly away. They are just a pair of hairy wings. When Turbo Roo the Chihuahua was born, he was unfortunately missing his front legs. As a result, the dog had to hop around at first. When he was 4 weeks old, his owners gave him up because they could no longer care for him. Instead, a veterinary assistant named Ashley Looper took him in. Ashley, in fact, was already familiar with how difficult it can be to care for a disabled dog. She managed to raise money to help the little dog live an easier life. In fact, she managed to raise more than $3,500. A designer offered to make a cart for the doggy, along with some awesome green wheels. Now the dog walks around in style and plays just like any other dog, only she has a set of cool wheels to help him move. A Cyclops shark was found in real life, and although many people doubted the legitimacy of this picture, there really is a condition called cyclopia. It's a birth defect in which embryos develop only one eye, in the middle of their head, instead of two. The commercial fisherman who caught the shark in his net in Maluku province in Indonesia said the first thing he noticed was the strange color. That milky complexion is the result of albinism. This condition produces a low amount of melanin, hence the loss of pigment in the skin. According to the story, this one-eyed shark was found in its mother's stomach, along with 2 other embryos that were completely normal. Equipping people with prosthetic limbs is no longer a strange concept. Even dogs and cats are found to use them successfully. But you probably wouldn't think an elephant could need them too. Meet the Asian elephant named Moshe. When she was 7 months old in 2007, she was walking near the Cambodian border when she stepped on a landmine. She escaped with her life, but eventually lost her right front foot. Fortunately, the Friends of the Asian Elephants Hospital in Thailand saved her. There, Dr. Thurkai Jivakate, who makes prosthetic limbs, learned of the case. He could make a new limb for the elephant out of plastic, sawdust, and metal that could bear her weight. Because Moshe kept growing, as elephants do, she had to get a new leg every few years. Dr. Jivakate has since helped 15 elephants with new limbs. This little black goat was born in the southwestern Chinese province of Yunnan and shocked everyone the moment she was born. Indeed, people noticed that the little lamb had no hind legs, but the goat surprised the locals even more when she could suddenly walk on her 2 front legs the next day. The video footage looks incredible, and it's hard to imagine how the goat learned to walk with what she has. According to the story, it only took the animal 1 day to realize how to stand on her 2 legs. A week after that, the goat was already walking around normally, and even playing with the other animals. The goat's owner spoke with veterinarians, and they speculated that her mother was probably injured in the abdomen, and that's why the lamb was born like this. What do you think the odds are that your dog is born with 2 mouths, 2 noses, and 4 eyes? This case is very rare, and as far as I could find, this is the only dog that ever had 2 heads. The dog belongs to the Hangal Ortiz family, who live in the city of Baga, Peru. They were shocked to see that their dog had given birth to 6 puppies. One of them looked completely different, as he seemed to have 2 heads. Vets thought he didn't have long to live, but miraculously, the puppy, who was actually a Siamese twin, was healthy. The family vowed to take excellent care of it and treat him just like the rest of the puppies. If you came face to face with Sato the elephant, or one of his kind, you'd swear you were looking at a prehistoric animal. Sato was no ordinary African elephant. He was a giant tusker elephant, and there are only about 30 of them left. An elephant like Sato is used to refer to an adult elephant that has tusks long enough to touch the ground. Before he died at the age of 50, Sato was one of Africa's oldest and largest elephants. His massive tusks each weighed more than 45 kilograms, and his total weight was an incredible 7 tons. Ultimately, it was his tusks that led him to premature death, as it was easy for poachers to find the elephant and sell his tusks on the black market for large sums of money.
This next goat was born with only one eye, and the condition is called cyclopia. But not only was the goat supposedly born with a defect in its eye, but its nose and mouth were also deformed. When veterinarians first saw the goat, they predicted he would not have a long life. But the goat did not give up on living, and today he is the main attraction in a village in the Indian state of Assam. Because of his rare condition and unusual appearance, tourists from other villages and even people from other countries travel to the village to catch a glimpse of the animal. By the way, did you know that not only goats can have cyclopia, but humans are also born with it? However, this is extremely rare, and usually they do not survive.
Something scarier than regular sharks are walking sharks. The epaulette shark, as it's called, inhabits the coral bottoms and shallow waters of tropical coasts. A distinctive feature is the large black spot behind its gills. The shark is harmless to humans, but if grabbed, they can bite. Occasionally, they get stuck on land and must somehow get back into the water. With evolution on their side, they've evolved to waddle back into the water like salamanders. Believe it or not, these sharks can survive for an hour in the open by slowing their breathing. They've been studied by international conservationists and biologists, including Forrest Galante. Everyone who studied them acknowledged that walking epaulette sharks are tame, but you should not touch them.
Here we have a two-headed Greek turtle named after Janus, the two-headed Roman god. Earlier in 2022, Janus celebrated his 25th birthday, and the turtle not only has two heads, but also has a pair of hearts, two pairs of lungs, and according to his caretakers, two personalities. A music producer named Todd Ray, who has worked with legends such as the Beastie Boys and Mick Jagger, is the proud owner of a collection of two-headed animals. His collection includes the three-headed turtle, Myrtle, Squirtle, and Thurtle. But there's another turtle that's also very rare. This turtle was born in Taiyuan, China, and has not only two heads, but also 6 flippers. As incredible as they look, the chances of survival of 2- and 3-headed turtles is incredibly slim. Turtles like Janus would also never be able to retreat into their shells to hide from threats. If you ever had a cat on your lap, you know how loud the purring of the cats can be. But imagine that in high gear. The record for the loudest purring cat in the world goes to a cat named Merlin, owned by Tracy Westwood, who lives in Torquay, England. The average domestic cat purrs around 25 decibels. The 13-year-old Merlin did so at a whopping 67.8 decibels, even ranking him in the Guinness World Records. Just to give you a comparison, the sound is as loud as a dishwasher. His owner says that's why she has to turn up the TV when she watches movies. All animals look cuter when they're small, but have you ever seen a cow that's incredibly small? Rainy is probably the smallest cow in the world, as she's only 20 inches or 50 centimeters in length. She looks very cute, and you might think she's maybe a calf, but no, she is an adult animal, so it's not to be expected that she'll grow any bigger. Rainy is a Bhutanese cow, and these are normally not so short, but Rainy became extremely popular thanks to her size. Thousands of people visited the village in Bangladesh to meet this little one. But in history, there is one other cow that's incredibly small. Meet Lil Bill. It's no wonder why he's called Lil, because Bill weighs only 7 pounds, or 3.5 kilograms, and he's the size of a cat. Have you ever seen an animal born with a golden shell? This next turtle was born in Nepal and was considered a god by locals because of its golden shell. However, the turtle did not demonstrate divine powers, but scientists have explained its unique characteristics. The golden shell comes from a genetic mutation called chromatic leucism, in which you notice a loss of color pigments. Usually, this loss of pigment always leads to white or pale skin. However, the species of turtle has been identified as an Indian flapshell. After it was spotted in the wild, many photos were taken of it, and then it was released.
Sharks are at the top of the food chain in the ocean, and they use a strategy that allows camouflage. This allows the shark to hide when ambushing prey, but an albino shark doesn't have this luxury because its white appearance doesn't allow it to hide. Consequently, most sharks don't make it to adulthood. So when an all-white shark was found off the Isle of Wight in Britain, it made big news. The albino shark was about the size of a baseball bat, and it was found by Jason Gillespie. while he was deep-sea fishing with friends. Jason made it clear that after catching the shark, he made sure it ended up back in the water. In his 30 years of fishing, he'd never seen anything like it, so much so that he called the shark 1 in a million. Technically speaking, this shark is not albino. Its condition is called leucism, which turns skin, feathers, and fur completely white. I can already see you thinking, this must just be a photoshopped picture of a dog, right? No. The dog breed of this dog is a Shih Tzu, and this particular dog's name is Yogi. As you can see, he's very unique. But how is it that this dog has a human-like face? Unfortunately, we don't know. His owner, Chantel Desjardins, didn't want to go viral when she uploaded a photo of her 2 dogs, Yogi and Daria. One dog looks cute, while the other has a human-like face. Some people in the comments said the dog looked like celebrities like Nicolas Cage, Paul Rudd, or Ed Sheeran. Which celebrity do you see in the dog's face? What kind of dog do you have? Or would you like to have a dog? If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we've made, click one on the screen, or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.